All right, everybody. So I'm going to go through the review day quiz here. This is quiz number 1, all about properties of exponents. The first couple questions are just kind of things that you should know. A number is blank when it's raised to the third, just kind of vocab that we use a lot. The word cubed means to the third power because if you think of a cube, it's a three-dimensional shape. And so if you want to define the volume of a cube, you would just take its length times its width times its height. So that's times itself 3 times. That's why we say it's the cubed. The big number below the exponent is considered to be the base. Okay, so we always have a base raised to a power. Base, and then the top one you can call a power, or you can call it an exponent. This is just a little bit of vocab practice. Nothing too exciting there. Next one. The power to which a number is being raised is an exponent. So power, exponent, you can use those words interchangeably. All right, a number is blank when it is raised to the second. Same sort of idea. Second power means it times itself twice. That would make the area of a square. And so squared right there is raised to the second power. All right, now we're moving away, I think, moving away from just some vocab checks to some of our exponent properties. Here, question 5, we see something raised to the 0 power, and anything raised to the 0 power is equal to 1, with the exception of 0 raised to the 0 power, which is undefined. But anything else raised to the 0 power equals 1. All right, here we are just trying to calculate how many k's there are, and I see 8k or k to the 8 and k to the third, and so I go k to the 8 plus 3, and then I see 2 times 3, so I get 6, and that would be the answer, 6k to the 11. Remember, that's the rule that we've talked about several times, x to the a times x to the b equals x to the a plus b. If the bottom number matches, if the base matches, then you can add the powers. So there we go with question 5. Question 6. Here we have k squared raised to the 4th power. So if I wanted to write that out, I would write k squared, k squared, k squared, k squared, because the 4th power tells me to write it out 4 times. And if you wrote out all of those k's, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. And so we end up with a final answer of k to the 8th. You are always welcome to just write out the whole expression. If you wanted to use the shortcut, you would just go k to the 2 times 4 and see that that's 8. This is the expression, this is the rule that we've written out as x to the a raised to the b becomes x to the a times b, the power of a power law. Moving right along, question 8. 6x squared y to the third over 2xy squared. I'm going to write it all out just so you can see it in all its glory, and then I'll talk about how I could have done a shortcut. So I just wrote out x squared y to the third by repeating those letters. So then I noticed that x divided by x is 1, y divided by y is 1, y divided by y is 1, and I'm left over with 3xy. The 3 just came from figuring out what 6 divided by 2 is. Now the shortcut that I could have used here is the rule that x to the a divided by x to the b is x raised to the a minus b, top minus bottom. And so I could have looked at my x values and done x raised to the 2 minus 1, looked at my y values and done y raised to the 3 minus 2, getting the power of 1 like this on my answer. You're totally welcome to always just write it all out like I did, or use the shortcut. Either way is totally fine. Here, if I wrote it all out, I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. and then cross out, cross out, cross out, cross out, cross out. There's 4 of them left over on the bottom. So 1 over x to the 4 power, like that. One thing I'm noticing when I look at this is that there are 2 totally correct answers. This answer and that answer right there. On the test, this one is something I grabbed online. This says choose the best answer. I don't like that because both of these answers are equally good. Remember that x to the negative 4 is what you would get if you used the shortcut of x to the 5 minus 9, making that into x to the negative 4. On the test, I won't use a word like best because that's not clear. I will say something like simplify without, and I'll say simplify, and how did I phrase it? Your answer should have no negative exponents. So no negative exponents. I'm pretty sure that's the phrasing I used, no negative exponents. And so in that case, I would want to choose answer choice B instead of the other one. I'm going to pause for a second here. All right, sorry about that. All right, so moving right along to the next one here. Okay. Okay, so here we've got some multiplication that we're working on. So you just kind of think of it like how we did like terms. 2 times 4, x times x, y to the third times y squared. So 2 times 4 makes 8, x times x makes x squared, y to the third times y to the second makes y to the fifth. If you imagine just writing them all out, you had y, and y. 5 y's altogether. So that is the last answer choice here. Then same sort of idea, you just divide your like terms. 8 divided by 2 is 4. X divided by x squared is x to the negative 1. Y to the third divided by y is y squared. What I'm doing is just subtracting top minus bottom powers. So I had x to the 1 over x squared. That becomes x to the 1 minus 2. And I had y to the 3 over y to the 1. That's y to the 3 minus 1. And so I have this answer right here. And you'll notice this is not one of the answers that they allowed. So I'm using the idea that a negative power can be thought of as division. So 4y squared divided by x to the first power. There we go. Moving right along. Question 12 here. Things are getting a little bit nastier, but we can still do it. We're just going to distribute the second power to each of the 3 factors and distribute the second power to each of the 2 factors. So here's the first set of parentheses. 5 squared makes 25. G to the 5th squared makes g to the 10th, because remember, power raised to a power means that you multiply the 2 powers. Same idea, I have h to the 6th squared, so that becomes h to the 12th. On the other set of parentheses, I have g to the 4th squared, that makes g to the 8th. H squared makes h to the 4th. I'm almost done. I'm going to combine my g to the 10 and my g to the 8th, and I'm going to combine my h to the 12 with my h to the 4. I'm not going to write it out this time because that's just a lot of g's to write. It would be writing down the letter g 18 times and then writing down the letter h 16 times. I hope you can imagine how h to the 12th just is literally the letter h 12 times in a row, and then I have 4 more of them from h to the 4th. So 25, g to the 18th, h to the 16th. Looks good to me. Almost done. Simplify. I always suggest working in your side your parentheses first. And so when I see 9 divided by 3, I get 3. When I see x to the third divided by x squared, I get x to the 1. Because you do top power minus bottom power. 3 minus 2 makes 1. And now that's going to be squared. So that would mean 3x times another 3x. 3 times 3 makes 9. X times x makes x squared. 9x squared is what we've got. And that's the end. And there we go. All right, so that's all for this video. I'm going to make another video with the other review day quiz. Please comment if there's anything you want me to go over again, do differently, or explain in more detail.